Okay, I am trying a new microphone and it looks like it works because that thing just said recording through mic USB. Okay, I was gonna not have these glasses on because does it ever seem to you like having sunglasses on is like a little bit impersonal or impolite, and like when you're talking to someone you should take them off? But the brightness is too hard for me, so I'm gonna keep them on. Let me pause here. There's a car coming. So, a client asked me yesterday about like, does it ever get to a point where you don't have um, resistance or distress or like uncomfortable desire? Is there like a point where you are released from that? And I answered honestly, I don't know, right? We have a lot of I wonder if this microphone actually would cut out the car sounds. We'll just keep pausing it just in case it doesn't. But I'll experiment with that. So, does it ever get to a point where we are able to not have pain, basically? And I'm not sure that that's what they were asking, but that's what it sort of sounded like. And there's been a differentiation between pain and suffering. Pain is inevitable, suffering is resistance to the pain. And then we have in my Martha Beck Wayfinder coach training, they differentiate it between like clean and dirty pain, which I think has some I don't love that framing. Clean pain being like, grief, dirty pain being like, this shouldn't be this way. And, there's all sorts of wisdom traditions, religions that promise like enlightenment or heaven or a release from suffering. And I kind of wonder, while we have nervous systems, if what might feel like a version of that our nervous systems could manage would be like feeling safe being scared. So have you ever a great example is a roller coaster. Like, have you ever been on a roller coaster or ride, or even I guess we could say a scary movie, where you were definitely scared, but you were like, I'm in it. Like, I'm signing up for this. I want to be scared right now. And it feels almost good to be scared. You're like, this is fun. This is satisfying. This is entertaining. I can think of like other times where it's not just fun and entertaining, where it maybe feels meaningful. Like if you're getting a blood draw and you want to know those results, then you're going to be like, yes, put the needle in my arm, right? I can think of like childbirth, like it's super painful, but you're like, yes, I want to be doing this right now, right? Some purpose or meaning to the pain. So I think that is something that our nervous systems are definitely capable of. And I think that goes back to like a foundation of self-trust, which I do think we can build, right? We can build the self-trust that like we're not doing anything wrong if we're in pain, that pain is a part of this program, that we will stay with us if we're in pain. And that like we stay with us is that like, not even necessarily your conscious parts will stay with you, but that your sort of like your higher self, your, sort of outside of time and space consciousness. One sec. So like that bigger me that is the me outside of space and time, that is maybe the all. You could call it God, you could call it higher power, you could call it self. That is always with me. And if that is always with me, whether I'm disassociated or I'm in fight flight or I'm feeling peace, then all of those could be okay, right? So I think of like having a nervous system. Maybe there are a few exceptions, people who study their whole life to not have a nervous system response, like maybe some very long-term monastic people. I don't know, I'm thinking of people who like walk on hot coals and don't have they've gained some conscious control of their nervous system. There's like a few humans who do that, right? And we see that that's possible. And I think that if that's something that you desire, then it's certainly worth pursuing it. And it would be, from what I can tell, a lifelong endeavor. But for those of us who are not interested in that path, it seems that coming into a relationship of, trusting that we are held, whether we're in fight flight or we're in peace, and allowing for both, allowing for disassociation when it's called for, right? And trusting that the nervous system overrides us to take us to those places because it is a wisdom and it allows us like more days as a physical human. So yeah, I think this like it's safe to be scared piece is an interesting one. The path of enlightenment, from what I can understand, and I'm not a highly trained, Buddhist. It's something that once we reach it, we're not going to still be a human. So if we're looking for something to experience while being in a human body, then this safe to be scared seems like an interesting one.